All right, guys. All right, guys. So, all right, we're here. Nvidia still sitting at 880s. Did I forget to? Did I forget to? Let me see. Hold on. No. All right, good. I was about to say. What you doing this early, man, bro? Every day people tell me, John, why are you streaming so early today? Bro, I start at the same time every day. I'm probably a little bit late relative to when I usually start. I usually start at like 6:15. Yeah, we're here. Well, watch Nvidia. Nvidia's at 880s. I'm still not feeling 100%, but that's all right. Jensen Powell, yeah. So Jensen yesterday, what did y'all think? He spoke. People were neutral on it, I guess. Fed meetings tomorrow. We don't really have much going on today, I think. Oh, man, I'm still not feeling 100%, dude. Oh, we got housing starts and building permits today at 8:30, I guess. I didn't even know, to be honest. These are nothing. These are not going to move markets at all. Not really, at least. They might have something to do with, like, interest rates, mortgage rates, NBA 30-year mortgage rates and stuff, but that's about it. Check out H-bar, negative inflow. What's up, Fox? No, it won't, Radical. Don't even put that negativity out in the world right now, bro. The pretzel's not going to take me out. I'm okay right now. I'm all right, you know. Well, if we aren't just stuck in the middle of the choppiest overnight range on the NASDAQ in a hot minute, should be nice. Oh, be careful, bro. Team Bears will prevail. Bro, there's a universe full of gold and diamonds, but there are only these Bitcoin forever and ever. So think about it. Bitcoin is gold for future generations. Right. Bears are predators. Bulls not really. Well, depends on what they're doing. All right, we're here. Yeah, I don't think the Fed meeting is going to be bad. Crypto eventually go to zero. This is too speculative. There is no product behind it, no fundamentals. Yeah, but I mean, bro, like that's like me telling you there's no product behind PayPal, you know? Like I could say, yo, bro, there's no product behind PayPal. It's worthless, but that doesn't mean it is. I could say the same thing about snow stock. I could say the same thing about Salesforce, CRM, and say, hey, there's no product. You know, there's nothing tangible, and use that to argue against crypto, but it doesn't mean it's a real argument. Crypto is useful because, and I'll explain it, it's very simple. Crypto, you can send money anywhere to anyone for any reason without restriction, you know? And that's a powerful thing. It's basically like a unlocked version of PayPal. And that's valuable. And over time, as tech evolves, as memory gets better, as storage gets better, over time, it's going to be cheaper and cheaper to send it as well. There's going to be less and less of them to send. And so in that regard, it should be more and more expensive and appreciate over time as well, i.e. gold. And so, you know, I think there's lots of bull arguments for it. PayPal is a service. So let me get this right. So PayPal is a service, but Bitcoin is nothing. Got it. Yeah, they say market price is only what somebody's willing to pay for it. So, hey, I'm not mad. You know, have your own opinions, bro. It's okay. I disagree, but it's all right. You know, it's all right. I understand. You know. Ugh. What's up, Sarge? I'm proud of this stream though, bro. I've grown this stream by myself. I'm the only person that works in this company. I'm the only person that runs this channel outside of Pawn. Pawn's the other guy that helps me run it, but I built this channel from the ground up to where every day I have thousands of people watch me. That's fun, man. That's fun. I'm a proud YouTube person. That's cool. That's a cool thing. Ugh. I wish I felt better, but I'm starting to feel better, you know. Still having vivid, weird dreams, to be honest, but that's all right. All right, you guys, we're here. I haven't even sipped my coffee yet, so forgive me. We're gonna try. Do a poll on Nvidia? Okay. Does Nvidia close green today? There's your poll. Alright guys, so again, Nvidia's sitting at about 880s. They debuted the Blackwell chip. I think the best part of their thing was the Blackwell chip debut. That thing's powerful. A lot of other people were disappointed, but I think a lot of other people, like, you have to understand, Nvidia's a microchip company. So, I mean, they are going to, you know, talk about microchips and hardware. You know, that's not a shock. That's not a surprise. People upset that they didn't, I don't know what they expected, really, but yeah. They're a hardware company. They're going to talk about hardware. I need a video to go crazy 8 times faster than the current chip we have. That's a huge leap, yeah, for sure. Yeah, the market did have an underwhelming reaction to it for sure. Alright, oh man, I'm still trying to feel better, bro. I don't think we have any other news. We got building permits and housing start data coming out at 8:30 today. We'll see how that goes. It's probably not going to do much to markets, but yeah. Didn't we have some earnings yesterday? What was it? And again, we do have some stuff dropping. We have housing starts building permit data dropping today. Both of these are basically non-movers. We do have Canadian CPI dropping at 8:30. Maybe that'll move the markets. Again, today's the last, like, boring day of markets. The rest of the day, the rest of the weeks this week are very busy. Wednesday, Fed meeting. Thursday, manufacturing services PMI, jobless claims numbers, Philly Fed index. Friday, we've got Powell speaking again, number 2. At 9 a.m. So, busy week. I'm okay with that, you know. Oh, man. Keynote was all about long-term future of AI. Yeah, for sure. The robot was pretty cool. I mean, y'all have to understand what we're going to be like. People say, oh, AI is nonsense, that AI is not useful, whatever. We're genuinely on the road to having our own robot entities in our homes that listen to everything we say and that learn and that understand, you know? Like, I think it's gonna massively benefit loneliness to a certain extent in the future. I think it's going to massively benefit the disabled into the future. I think it's going to massively help a lot of different things that we take issue with nowadays. And so I think it'll be really interesting to see how AI and tech evolves over the next 10 years specifically. I think 10 years from now, the type of stuff that we're going to have, you know, there's the movie Bicentennial Man. You know, if anybody's ever seen the movie Bicentennial Man, you know, you really have to start to wonder whether these movies accurately predicted the future of technology or whether these movies inspired the future of technology. You know, I think it's a really interesting question because you see a lot of accurate predictions from 30, 40, 50 years ago about where technology is today. And again, the question you have to ask yourself is, Did these movies accurately predict where tech went, or did they inspire where tech went? And I think that's a good question because it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm watching this video about the 1950s San Francisco. It says, this is the society that was stolen from you. Like, bro, give me a break, dude. Like, honestly, like, oh no, not riding buses with all the other guys going to work. Like, get out of here, dude. Like, people, they just want to spark fear, bro. That's all anybody ever wants to do. At a certain point, I feel personally manipulated. Bank of Japan raised interest rates for the first time in 17 years. All right. That is kind of big. So, again, the Bank of Japan just raised rates for the first time in almost 20 years. They raised it by a small, like a tiny 10 basis point. The short-term policy range is now plus 0% to plus 0.1%. Governor is highlighting why in his press conference. What's happened from this is that a stable inflation target of 2% is almost within reach in Japan due to healthy wage pressures. The largest unions there had wage increases of 5%, over 5% for their workers. These are the highest seen in decades in Japan. The bank there, the central bank, is mulling reducing its purchasing of Japanese bonds in the near future. So basically slowing down QE, a practice known as tapering. The Bank of Japan isn't doing this, tapering. Or the Bank of Japan isn't doing yield curve controlling as of now, but they're still buying bonds as the result of long-standing quantitative easing. So these are all things to watch about Japan. A lot of people are betting big on Japan. They think the Japan economy is the future, and they might be right. I don't know. FOMC is tomorrow at 2 p.m. It's the art imitating life or life imitating art. It's a genuine question. It's interesting because they've been really right about it. They've been really correct about a lot of things. You know, as somebody that watched Bicentennial Man when it first came out when I was like young, right? I think it's a really interesting thing right now because we are right now we're right there. Like we're right there to where we're basically getting, creating things similar to that. Not obviously not as high tech as what they created in those movies, but we're getting close, to be honest. So really interesting world we're in right now. The bicentennial stuff is a future far from us. We still have major issues to deal with. Yeah, I know, but in the movie, there weren't... Like, in the movie, the economy wasn't perfect as well. Like, it was just tech evolving in the beginning. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Robert Wadlow was one of the tallest men ever at 9 feet tall. I'm not convinced he wasn't an alien personally, you know? Size 37 shoe. All right, so Hindenburg had a takeaway from a call on March 22. You know, I can't even lie, bro. I can't even lie. It's an enticing business prospect to create a short, a Hindenburg research firm, esque firm, like a Hindenburg-esque firm. Like, it's a very tempting thing. I think I do have a good eye for identifying crap, and honestly, I might think about it in the future. Would you guys subscribe to John's short report? You know? All right, chat. Bro, I see these videos of these. All right, chat. What else we got going on today? Where's Super Micro at after yesterday's event? Super Micro all the way down to 950s. A lot of people are saying they want to lower rates. Do y'all agree? Do y'all think y'all don't think a lot of people are pushing for rate cuts? I don't agree. Y'all don't think it's too early for rate cuts with inflation still at 3.2 or whatever it was, 3.2%. Y'all don't think that's too early to start cutting rates? I get it, like mortgage brokers and real estate agents want to cut rates and all that stuff, but it just seems like it's a little too early to start cutting rates. It would be free. It wouldn't cost anything to subscribe to John's Short Report. Yeah, the weather predictor was really nice. The weather predictor was dope, dude. I liked it. What if human intelligence peaked thousands of years ago? Then we had a worldwide catastrophe, and now we are regaining back to that higher level of development. I don't think so, because I think if we did, we'd see a lot more evidence of higher technology, and we just don't see it. We see some technology that was outstanding relative to what we thought was back then. Without question, we've seen some really interesting technology from back in the day, but none of it compares. Like, imagine, okay, so like think about all the fossils that are out there right now. Like, imagine how many like computer-esque fossils we would find if that was the case, right? Like, we would be finding all types of crazy fossils and stuff like that. And so unless they camouflage the tech for some reason, which is almost certainly not to be the case, it's almost certain that we've never hit the level of technology that we're currently in, at least not in the near past, like not in the last like 20,000 years, you know. Well, the pyramids are great. They're cool for sure. But outside of those pyramids, we don't see it. You know, the pyramids were cool. You know, the pyramids were for sure cool, but I don't think that's enough evidence, to be honest. I think number one, the pyramids are something which could have been created by you know, cultures from back in the day, and so I don't think that's the argument. I think we would need better proof of that. I think we would see better proof of that outside of pyramids. We'd see all these crazy technology fossils and stuff that we just don't see. So I just don't think that's the case. Like, I think most likely the pyramids were either created by one of those ancient civilizations that had higher tech than we thought they had, but not as high as we have today, of course. Or pyramids were created by some, you know, for lack of a better word, alien body that came here and was like, yo, let's build this power plant or whatever, you know. I think that makes more sense. But again, that's just a ridiculous theory. I'm just throwing it out there. Google at 150 still. Didn't really hold. I'm still in it. We took a little bit of profit yesterday on it, but we're still in it. Yeah, we'll see what Powell says. Again, I think Powell is going to pause rates and be hawkish in his tone to try to curb interest rates. He's not going to raise rates, but he's going to pause rates and be hawkish in his tone is my guess. I might be wrong, but that's my guess with Powell. All right, chat. Whew. All right, we're here. We feel much better today. Almost normal. I'm almost normal today. I needed it too, man. All right. Good morning, John. All great job on Nvidia stream. Jensen, what a bright mind. People hate on him so much, bro. It really goes to show, like, listen, if you find yourself hating, like, okay, and what it really is people get so emotional. Like, bearish traders are so emotional. Like, they're so emotional about everything, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine showing up in all of these big streams and just being so negative, just being so complaining about everything. Like, why? You know, like, I'm not saying you have to even believe in the company, but just watch. If you don't like it, just watch something else. You know, like, you get so many people, like, and again, I talk about it a lot. You get some people that just hate freaking stocks. Most of the time, it's because the stocks are helping the market prop up and they're bearish, right? So if you're bearish and Nvidia is pumping the market up over the last year and you made a bearish call a year ago, you know, you might hate Nvidia. But again, you're being too emotional about it. You got to emotionally check out of that and understand we can't love or hate stocks. We just gotta watch we just gotta watch them, you know. So a lady was arrested for removing squatters out of her $1 million house in Queens, New York. Bro, this is why you don't buy a house there, dude. Like, there's no way if I'm a tenant or if I'm a landlord, bro, there is absolutely no chance I'm buying a house in Cali. There is no chance I'm buying a house in Colorado. Like, again, any place that's gonna get mad at me for booting out people trying to steal my house. Like, how did we get here, bro? Like, how did we get here? Like, this is the craziest thing ever. And yet people look at this and they say, like, people are taking advantage of the system. Like, these squatters, they know what they're doing. Like, we're enabling people is what we're doing here. Like, a lot of the time they're addicts. They know what they're doing and they just want a house that they can use in and then destroy, right? They're going to destroy these houses is what they're doing. And it's so obvious. It's so self-evident that the fact that they haven't changed the laws for this type of stuff is obscene. It's crazy. It's nonsensical. You know what I mean? And especially in markets like this, like, I kind of get it. She's in Queens. Real estate is so expensive there. Like, it's so expensive to live there right now. And so having somebody live there and not pay could bankrupt her. Like, it could truly bankrupt her. Like, the laws have got to change in that regard. As a real estate agent myself, the laws have got to freaking change there, you know. Anyway, SPY dipping down, Nvidia dipping down. It's at 870s. Apple pulling back down a little bit as well. The market just turned. I'm trying to see why. All right, so Supermicro filed for a stock shelf offering of up to 2 million shares of common stock. So they're selling shares. Supermicro offering shares. They're selling shares. Yeah, so Paula, let me help you out, brother. I see you struggling with the word, dude. I got you, bro. Listen, it's losers is spelled Losers. You know, losers. And again, I'm not judging. Listen, I'm not the best at spelling either. It's all love, brother. It's all love. I'm just trying to help you out. I see a lot of people spell it loose, like Loosers. That would be losers. Wrong. Then the other way they spell it is lossers. So Lossers, which is like lossers. That's wrong as well. It's very simple. It's Losers. One S. That's it. That's all it is, bro. I got you. I'm helping. Listen. That's my job here. And again, I'm not judging you. I get it. Like, I spelled... You think you're smart until you got to spell some of these words, bro. I try to spell a lot of stuff and get it wrong. So I understand. Yeah, and again, it's the most misspelled word ever. I hear it on the stream. It's not just you, brother. It's not just you. It's a lot of different people misspelling losers. All right, so George Lucas is backing Disney CEO Bob Iger in a proxy fight with Trian's Nelson Peltz, according to CNBC. All right. Oh, guarantee. The only reason I know guarantee now is because I've misspelled it so much. The only reason I know guarantee now is because it's spelled so much. It starts with a U. It starts with G-U, not with a U, but it starts with G-U. I get it wrong all the time. Again, I'm really not judging if you misspelled losers. Like, I'm not judging you. You know, I'm just helping. It's easy to remember. Once you get it right, you know. You know, it's one of those words where if you get it right once, you remember. You know what I mean? Yeah, Pawn, I got, you know, I don't think he's going to last another 20 seconds. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's gone. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, if the first thing you say here is nothing but super controversial topics, like, you might hear me talk about the landlord thing and think I'm being political. I'm not against either side. I'm very neutral politically. If you come here just spewing political stuff, you're gonna get banned. No politics, no religion. Like, we all keep it neutral here. Good day to you, sir. Yeah, irregardless is really like my most hated one too, because they say it with such confidence. They say it with such confidence, and I'm here to tell you, irregardless is not a word. Yet whoever says it, they think they are just freaking Thomas Edison when they're saying it. You know, they think they're Benjamin Franklin. You know, they think they're on Plymouth Rock saying irregardless. It's not a word. It's regardless. One word, regardless. Like, I wasn't going to correct you regardless of your use of irregardless. You know? But it's not a word. Irregardless is not a word. And they say it with such confidence. And they say it to try to sound smart, but it ends up doing the opposite. English lessons with John. English really was one of my good subjects. I'm good at English. I'm good at English. I know English well. Okay. You're welcome. Nvidia at 875s right now. Bouncing right at 870s. Blackwell will be the iOS of AI hardware. What's your downside target on Apple? I don't really have one. Is irregardless a word? Well, I mean, it's a word just like a lot of other slang terms are words. You know, like it's a word just like a lot of other slang terms are words. The only reason it's a word is because people have used it, but it's not an actual word, you know. Well, yeah, but so are a bunch of curse words, Freddie. It doesn't make them real words. I'm just telling you, irregardless is not a word, you know. They might have added them to dictionaries you know, because they've been so widely misinterpreted as words over the last 5 years. But, yeah. Anyways, we're going to move on from this. It's all right. I'm partially trolling you guys. I'm partially trolling, but I'm also kind of serious, you know. Can just be whelmed, maybe. Yeah, it's all good, Paulo. I was genuinely, I started this conversation as trying to help my guy Paulo here. And again, it's not just you, brother. It's a lot. Like, I see so many people say it over and over again. Like, and running this stream where we cover economics and stocks and stuff like that, people use the word a lot, right? So, like, I hear people using the word a lot. And I'm just trying to help, brother. It's all good. I'm not like, listen, I misspell things all the time, brother. So it's all good, dude. I'm not making fun. Like, I get it. I can't judge personally. So it's all love, bro. It's all love, dude. I saw you try to spell it twice, and so I was just helping you out. Like, if I didn't have spell check, I would be, you know, yeah, it'd be bad. Anyways, FOMC meeting tomorrow. Do you think they cut, raise, or pause rates? They're almost certainly going to pause. Anybody that thinks they're not going to pause is not paying attention. Here's the likelihoods. 99% of people expecting a pause. 99. 1% of people expecting a cut. No, not even any probabilities expecting a rate hike. And so, yeah. Okay, so irregardless is considered non-standard, like it's not a word, and should be avoided in formal and academic writing, according to Scribber.com, The golden standard here, not Wikipedia. Scribber.com, Anyways, again, I'm going to say this again. It is considered non-standard and should be avoided in formal or academic writing. You're welcome. I.e., it's not a real word, Anyways, it's slang, basically. Papa Powell's not going to raise rates. I wonder if there's some derivatives I could bet on that have to do with Powell. Can I bet on the Fed decision? I wonder if there's derivatives that I could trade that allow me to do that. If you don't know what derivatives are basically betting on something that they don't have a set structure to bet on. It's kind of like what the Big Short was with mortgages. He wanted to short mortgages. They never really done it before. He had to create a derivatives contract to be able to bet against mortgages in 2008. That's what derivatives means. It means betting on something that they don't have an infrastructure for. And so I wonder if there's a way to bet. I mean, again, it would be really easy money. The odds would have to be so bad outside of a pause, though. Like, it's kind of like betting on, it's kind of like betting on John Jones to lose or to win, right? Like, you're not going to make much money betting on Jones to win because he's almost certainly going to win. Yeah, for sure. Probably going to be a raise then, since nobody thinks it's possible. Nah. Usually with Fed decisions, they don't go outside of expectations. Like, they don't try to shock people with Fed decisions. Can you explain a rate pause? Sure. Despite what a lot of people think today, Powell is probably going to pause, irregardless of what people think. All right, let me stop trolling you guys. So what a pause is, right? So the Fed controls the economy, and their job is to keep it balanced, right? The way they control the economy is through a couple different tools that they have. One of them is called quantitative easing and quantitative tightening. This is basically the Fed coming in, expanding their balance sheet. Quantitative easing, QE, is basically the Fed coming in, expanding their balance sheet. They're basically like buying up a bunch of bonds, and when they come through and they buy a bunch of bonds, they inject liquidity into the economy. That helps banks lower interest rates to consumers. So, and again, they could also cut rates, like cutting rates. The Fed can also change the federal funds rate, which is the interest rate that banks charge each other to hold money overnight. And eventually they change that interest rate, and that trickles into everything else. And so by cutting the federal funds rate, that eventually trickles into everything else. Interest rates rise. And by raising the federal funds rate, that eventually trickles into everything else interest rates wise. And so with quantitative easing, if the Fed is what's called dovish, which means they want to stimulate the economy, they want to increase spending, right? That typically happens in periods where we have economic risks of depressions and recessions. But anyways, if the Fed is dovish, they want to stimulate the economy, stimulate spending, right? So they'll come through and they'll buy up a bunch of bonds, injecting liquidity into markets. That will give banks better margins so banks can lower interest rates to consumers. And the reason they do that is because if consumers are paying less money in interest rates, then they have more money to spend on other things. If you're paying $1,000 a month in a mortgage versus $3,000, you're going to have a lot more money to spend on other stuff, thus stimulating the economy, right? So with quantitative easing, with rate decisions, with lowering the federal funds rate, These are things that inject liquidity into the market. We also saw in 2020 stimulus checks. They did all these things in 2020. They lowered the federal funds rate. They did quantitative easing, bought up a bunch of bonds, expanded their balance sheet, and they also sent out stimulus checks. All of these things contributed to more spending, right? And so we got a lot of spending. And one of the consequences to that was inflation. You know, when people spend more, prices go up. If I'm selling bubble gum and I sell out every day, I'm probably going to start raising prices to compensate for it, right? So spending causes inflation. And that's kind of what we're in now, where we had 2020, where we had economic risks. The Fed was really dovish. They brought interest rates down to almost zero. They did quantitative easing. They bought up bonds. They sent out stimulus checks. All these things contributed to more spending. And what's the consequence of more spending is inflation. Inflation is the consequence of more spending, because the more people spend, the more businesses raise prices. Anyways, on the other side of that, you have what's called a hawkish Fed, which means a Fed that's trying to push spending down to help inflation pressures, right? So a Fed that's trying to push inflation down, and really they do that by reducing the federal, or by raising the federal funds, right? By raising interest rates to consumers. They do it by what's called quantitative tightening, which means that they can do direct QT, which is just directly selling bonds, but most of the time they don't. Most of the time they do what's called passive quantitative tightening, which means that they just stop buying bonds and they let their current holdings mature and run off their balance sheet, reducing their balance sheet over time in a little bit more slow manner. Anyways, so now that we're in a period where we had high inflation after 2020, we did a lot of quantitative easing, a lot of money printing. We brought interest rates down to zero, but that spiked spending and in turn spiked inflation. Inflation got up to almost 9% a few years ago. And so the Fed steps in, and since 2021 or 22, they've been doing quantitative tightening, which means that they've been letting their bond holdings run off their balance sheet. They've been raising rates for a few years now, and they finally started pausing about 8 months ago. But again, they've been raising the federal funds rate, because when they raise the federal funds rate, eventually it trickles into raising interest rates to consumers. And we see that now. If you look at mortgages are at like 7 or 8%. And so mortgages are high right now. Interest rates are high. The federal funds rate is high. But over the last 6-8 months, I can't remember how long it's been, but the Fed's been pausing the federal funds rate. So they haven't been raising the federal funds rate. They haven't been lowering or cutting the federal funds rate. They've been pausing the federal funds rate, right? So in that way, it's kind of a more neutral stance by the Fed. They're not really dovish in cutting rates. And the question now is, when are they going to start to cut rates? Powell said it's probably going to be late this year, maybe next year. When are they going to pivot out of quantitative tightening? That's another question. If you want to know when interest rates are going to go down in like real estate and mortgages, you got to wait for them to end quantitative tightening. We don't know when that's going to be. It'll probably be late this year, early next year. Same thing with rate cuts. I'm expecting June for when we start cutting rates, but we could start cutting rates as early as Wednesday, tomorrow. Again, it's super unlikely. And if you look at these polls that we're looking at here, 1% chance that happens. And so you got a lot of people that are like, yeah, we're going to start cutting rates. A 1% chance that happens. Very, very low probability. It's not a zero, so it's possible for it to happen. It's just pretty unlikely. So anyways, 99% chance of a pause, which is keeping the federal funds rate at 525 to 550 basis points. So that's modern day Federal Reserve economics. Quantitative tightening is actually a relatively new thing. They've been doing it for like 20 years now or something. And typically during a hawkish Fed, we could get bearish action in markets, but Nvidia has just been flying up, causing big bull runs. And so sometimes there's not always a positive correlation with Fed decisions, hawkish Fed decisions, and the market. So, yeah. Anyways. That is what rate cuts are. I hope that makes sense. Well, that changes. Motivation said, what happened to the 6 interest cuts expected for the year? When did you hear 6? They say stock is high because at some point Fed may print money again to pay the debt, high inflation, and future high Fed rate like cycle Maybe. The only way the Fed's going to start printing more money anytime soon, in my opinion, is if the economy is at risk. So we're already reeling from inflation problems that we've had over the last 4 years from the pandemic mostly, and the stimulus checks and quantitative easing and stuff. We're already reeling from that. I don't think the Fed does that. I think the economy would have to be at major risks for the Fed to start buying up and expanding their balance sheet and printing more money. I think the economy would have to be at a greater risk, especially than we are now. The economy's pretty strong now. 6 cuts this year. I've been covering every Fed meeting. I've never heard him talk about 6 cuts, especially not this year. At this point in time, their base case is what Jerome Powell will call it, is for them to start cutting rates maybe in, you got to understand, like, the Fed meeting happens every 6 weeks. So it's not something that happens once a month. And so, yeah, so with that, there's only about 8.5 Fed meetings and Fed decisions in a year. And so 6 cuts would be them starting to cut this month and cutting every single decision until the end of the year. And I think that's a way too dovish outlook. I'm not sure who said 6 cuts this year. I'm not saying they never said it, but I never heard him say that. Maybe market gurus, but yeah, market gurus are market gurus. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be 6. It might be a couple this year. Yeah, maybe. Again, that would mean they start cutting this month and they cut every Fed decision afterwards. I think that's a little bit out there of an expectation. But maybe not. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know. Back towards early January. Yeah. I think we've seen worse inflation data since then, though. And so I think that's less likely. Even if they did say that, I think that's less probable now because of worse inflation pressures. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you had a lot of people betting on a recession and a depression. Most of them were just wildly wrong, though. You know, those are the people, like the same people that are in here trying to claim that we're currently in a recession are the same people that said that were predicting a recession a year ago. And a lot of people have a hard time letting go of predictions. And I think I think in trading and investing and economics especially, you can't be rigid with your predictions. You got to understand you might be wrong about any specific thing and kind of just move on from it, you know. No, not every month. I mean, again, so it happens every 6 weeks. So it happens roughly 8 times a year. They will cut as close. No, I mean, Toby, I disagree. I think that's under the assumption that rate cuts are a positive, optimistic thing. And I think they're going to cause a lot of inflation fears when rate cuts start. As well as there's a lagging effect to the Fed decisions. They don't happen immediately. Like, you have to understand, these are all influencing bond prices, bonds, and the Fed. And they have to wait for bonds to mature. And so, you know, while there might be some shorter term effects to shorter term bonds when rate cuts happen, there's still going to be it's going to take a while to correct. The rate cuts and rate decisions lag market. They take a year sometimes to really influence the economy in the way intended. So. Goldman said Nvidia to 1,000, maybe. I think it could. I mean, I don't think 1,000's outside the realm of possibility. I just think it depends on what the market does right now. Nvidia's been pretty flat for like a week, so it depends. 5% mortgage rate is a healthy rate. Yeah, I mean, if you ask a bunch of, real estate professionals, maybe. But, a lot of people are just trying to justify selling mortgages. I don't necessarily think. I think it's very hard to talk people who could have gotten 2.5% 3 years ago to pay over twice as much for a home in a mortgage now. Especially with more stringent lending conditions out there now, it's just going to be a lot harder to justify for a lot of people, regardless of what the average is. The average is taking into account the craziness of the 80s and stuff like that. But I think over the last 20 years, mortgage rates have been very low, and I think people have gotten used to that. I don't think people want to spend 5, 6, 7% interest. I'm not saying they're not going to, and that nobody's going to. I'm saying it's gonna be a lot harder to get people to do that. Yeah, Bitcoin all the way down to 62,000. All right, chat. So we made some money yesterday day trading futures. We're going to start trying to day trade today. We're going to be day trading on a platform called Apex Funded Account Program. And Apex is dope because it allows you to day trade with limited risk. And if you've ever wanted to learn how to day trade, there's a get around instead of risking thousands of dollars yourself. It's called a funded account program in futures. And it's incredibly powerful to get around the PDT rule. Number one is there's no PDT rule in futures. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market. You can see I can buy market, sell market, and pre-market even. No PDT rule doing this. And this is trading basically the QQQ price action. If you look at the Q and you look at this, it's the same thing. Look, big bounce, small dip, larger dip. Big bounce, small dip, larger dip. Right? Same price action, but I can day trade this, no PDT restrictions in the futures market. Apex gives you a demo and they test your skill. And again, most day traders lose. And so I think that's the truth here. I think most day traders are going to lose this, just like most day traders are going to lose on Thinkorswim. But it's a lot cheaper to lose here than risking thousands of dollars doing it yourself on stocks or anywhere else, right? So again, they give you a demo. The base one is the 25,000 one. And so if you pass it, you get 25,000 in funding with a 90% split. And it's only $30. And so this is the best of both worlds. And you can use up to 40 micro contracts. That's the powerful thing about Apex. I can use up to 40 micro contracts. That's a powerful thing. That enables me to trade small size, scale in, scale out. That's a powerful thing. 40 micros. And again, so this is only $30. And so if I lose, I'm only out $30. I'm not risking nothing. It's not just like a base paper account. I'm still risking something. And if I pass it and I'm good enough to pass it, I get a 90% split once I'm funded. But if I lose, which is going to be most day traders, I'm only out $30. That's a powerful thing. And they have these going all the way up to 300. What you see on the screen, this is a $300,000 one where I'm funded 300,000 with a 90% split. And I'm green on this account. We're slowly building up profit. They also have static accounts as well. So if you want there to be no trailing drawdown, you can with this static one, this 100K static one. And so that's powerful as well. Apex has paid out over $100 million, over $100 million in payouts. And so that's a pretty cool thing. If you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. Remember, they are a sponsor. I'm biased in their favor because they pay me money. So I'm definitely biased in their favor. But remember, use promo code BT, beginner trading BT, if you want to get the max discount, which is 80% off right now. There's 80% off sale going on, a one-day pass. And so you can get funded in as little as 1 day right now for the time being. And so again, check out the link in the description as well as in the chat right there. I appreciate it. We're going to watch the rest of markets. Apple now slightly red. If we get a bounce up, I'll short. But I need a little bit larger of a bounce here before we start trading. And again, this is the NASDAQ 100. This is basically the QQQ price action. Look at the SPY. It looks exactly like the SPY too. I can also trade the SPY price action as well in what's called the E-mini S&P. It would be irresponsible to do 3 cuts this year. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Yeah, irregardless is a non-standard, non-formal word. And so I think, okay, look, I can agree. I'm going to pause the music for a second. All right. I can agree. Irregardless is a word. Okay? It's a non-standard, formally correct word, which means that people using irregardless to trying to sound smart are silly. It's the equivalent of using I'm fixing to go to the store in a paper, in a formal English paper. That's the equivalent. All right. And so again, it's a word, but it's not a real word, Anyways. Yeah, sorry to the guy asking for $20. Get out of here. Got funded yesterday. A pre-market one-day evaluation is awesome. And again, I'm fixing to go to the store all the time. I'm from Louisiana. That's a southern thing. Like, I use it all the time. But it's a slang term, Yeah, if you come here begging for money, I'm going to ban you for life. Good day, sir. You get nothing. Get Willy Wonka in here. I actually have 4 PA accounts. So do I think. I think I have 4. So I use Quant Tower. So I use Rhythmic. Whatever with Rhythmic you can use them, I'm pretty sure. But I use Rhythmic for mine. Yeah, it's a word like ain't's a word, Again, if you're one of those people that are getting mad, just use regardless. Irregardless isn't a word. Regardless is, What is your top 3 indicator for trading? Probably volume weighted average price is something I use a lot. All right, we did get a flush breakdown. I need a little bit larger of a bounce. You can see the SPY start to flush. Q starting to flush. Let's put Nvidia chart up instead. There's Nvidia here, chat. Nvidia at 870s. Let's see if it holds. I'm in SoFi right now. I've been in SoFi, though. I'm red in it. So... But again, I'm also in Palantir, which I'm very green. Like, I'm in a bunch of stuff that I'm actually pretty green on, so, it could be worse. We're slightly red on the day so far today, though, for equities. No, not really golden. Yeah, I feel much better today. I'm still not 100%, though. I still had super vivid dreams and weird fever dreams, but I'm feeling better. I'm definitely feeling a little better. I'm not going to say what entry I would do. Pew pew. I don't know. MicroStrategy is so influenced by crypto and Bitcoin that it really truly depends on what you think Bitcoin and crypto are going to do. Right? Like asking me where to buy MicroStrategy is like asking me where to buy Bitcoin. And so that's the only thing I'll say. Like MicroStrategy is so heavily weighted to Bitcoin that's something that like that's the only way I'm going to look at it is, do I want to buy Bitcoin? Yeah, so I'm going to have to switch from toss. The answer is yes, more Bitcoin. Bitcoin is on a dip. Bitcoin is on a dip. I think there's arguments to buy it now, but I don't know. Bitcoin when you reach 58 check. 58K check, 59.61 belt. Maybe. Yeah, what's up, Golden? Hey, welcome, brother. Welcome, man. Was it TPHS? What a crazy move yesterday. Yeah, so again, the Bank of Japan raised rates for the first time in almost 20 years. Man, again, I'm seeing this thing about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. I'm nervous for Mike, bro. I think everybody wants to see Mike win. But, bro, Mike, don't do it, bro. Don't do it, man. You know? The only justifiable way would be if him and Jake have some contract details that say it's not a real fight. That's the only way this should ever go through. That's the only way Mike should ever sign the contract for this. All right, so again, we've been breaking down. We're breaking down too much for me to even want to short it here. I gotta wait. I really have to wait. I just don't see anything I like. Yeah, Mike is 60 years old, guys. Like, I really question how, if somebody's being honest, if they think Mike is really going to win this fight. Like, if you think Mike is truly going to win this fight, if they truly fought, again, I don't know if people, like, again, I talked about it yesterday. I think maybe older people want to believe that they still got it and that it would be competitive versus a young person. Listen, if you're 60 and you fought a 25-year-old, you're almost certainly getting KO'd. Like, it's not even a question. Like, it's going to be an easy night for that 25-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so much, like, we just go so downhill after a certain point. And this is coming from, I'm older now. I'm almost, I'm getting up there. I'm getting up there. I'm not young anymore. I'm not a 25-year-old, And I'd love to believe that if me and a 25-year-old person fought and we were the same skill set, that I would win. But again, like, I'm not going to be delusional about it. Let's just be honest. Mike Tyson should not be fighting Jake Paul. I don't care how good he is. He's too old, to be honest. He's just too old. It's not good, I'm questioning whether it's actually going to go through or not. Right, everybody's time passes. It's time to move on, I feel for Mike, All right, so we've dropped so much. I kind of want to buy this. We're going to buy this up. We got 3 contracts. We'll add up to 5 here. Buy this dip. Take half off, lock it in. Try to give the rest time. All right, guys. Sorry, my wife's in here, coming in here to talk to me. So we're back in with 4 contracts. Yeah, if they let Tyson juice, it's a different story. I just look, and I want Tyson to win. I hope Tyson wins, right? Like, I hope I'm wrong. But again, I like Mike Tyson. I don't want to see him get hurt, man. I really don't. Like, people, like, confirmation bias is such a powerful thing, chat. Like, you're more likely to believe what you want to happen. And I want to believe that Tyson goes out there and just KOs Jake. But that doesn't make it more probable that that's going to happen. You know, the sparring footage of Tyson is like 2 years old that they've been putting out. They've been putting out like 2-year-old footage showing Tyson hitting heavy bags and stuff. And that's fine. Did anybody watch the Roy Jones Jr. Tyson fight? It didn't look good. It looked rough out there for them. It really looked rough, you know. All right, so we're kind of scalping this here, chat. We took a little bit more off. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but, you know, I don't want to see Tyson get hurt, man. And I think they're kind of taking advantage of Tyson in some ways. You know what I mean? I don't think that's good. I think Jake Paul and them are kind of taking advantage of him. You know. Yeah. Yeah, 20-year-old Mike would destroy Jake, of course. Like, it wouldn't even be close. But this ain't 20-year-old Mike. He will win. Age doesn't mean anything. I mean, of course it does. Like, again, I watch MMA regularly. I train jiu-jitsu. Like, age certainly means something. Look at this beautiful bounce. Hey, we'll take a little bit of profit off. Age certainly means something here. Certainly. Like, without question. Like, you get worse as you age. The real turning point happens at about 34, 35, right? So you'll see MMA fighters just go on tears, just be destroying everybody. They'll be destroying everybody, right? They hit 34, 35, they get knocked out a couple times, and then it's like a light switch happens. They go from being unstoppable. You see it with Volkanovski right now. Alex Volkanovski. You see it with him right now. He went from being unbeatable to getting KO'd by Makhachev, to getting KO'd by Ilya, and now he's looking rough, right? His chin's gone. You saw it with Tony Ferguson a lot. Tony Ferguson, same thing. After 35, you start to go downhill. Your chin goes, your power goes, your speed, your timing goes, right? Like, that's just the truth. And certainly by 60, you know, again, I think people desperately want Tyson to win, and they get so emotional about it that it's hard for them to look at it objectively, you know. But again, it's the reality behind it. I'm not a fan of Jake at all. I hope Jake gets knocked out in the first minute. You know what I mean? But again, just because I want that to happen doesn't make it more probable. Again, people need to understand what confirmation bias is. Seriously, like, look up confirmation bias. It's a powerful thing, man. It happens in trading a lot too, you know. But I see a lot of confirmation bias in this Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. You know, my guess, to be honest, if you want me to be honest, my guess is that it's not a real fight. You know how Roy Jones Jr. and Tyson, they just kind of like lightly sparred with each other. They weren't really trying to take each other's heads off. I think that's going to be a very similar thing. I think there's probably contract terms that stipulate that. I don't think it's going to be a real fight. I think it's going to be a exhibition is what they're going to call it. And they're going to go out there and lightly spar and then shake hands afterwards and be like, oh, great job. It's going to be called a draw. You know, like that's my guess of what this actually is. Because I couldn't imagine that they would sign him up with a real fight in that way at 60 with Tyson. I just can't imagine. You know? Well, I mean, John Fury did. Is that his name? Was it John Fury? John Fury beat him. Or no, wait, maybe it's not John Fury. Was it? It was Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury beat up Jake. Very obviously. Jake obviously lost that fight. I was watching it. He obviously lost. You know. I was celebrating. Anyways, Nvidia, chat. Nvidia all the way down to 860s. We got a nice little dip. We got a nice little bounce. We made a little bit of money today. We've got a slight green day so far. We're trying to build up some profit here. We'll see if it works. You know, We're building up a little bit of money as we go. I hope it's not real. That's probably confirmation on my end, Femi. I hope it's not real. I hope it's an exhibition fight. I really do. I don't want to see Tyson get hurt. Yeah, again, if you think Tyson's gonna win, I want you, if it does turn out to be a real fight, when Tyson loses, I want my face to show up. You know, I want my face to pop up in your head saying, "I told you so. I told you so." You know, just remember that. Top 3 greatest predictors of all time. They just had their AI conference and it's selling off like crazy. Well, the AI conference isn't done yet. The AI conference is all this week. They had their keynote speech from the AI conference yesterday. We streamed it live. We had thousands of people here. But it's not done yet. The AI conference just started yesterday. So it'll go on until the end of this week. We also have the Fed meeting tomorrow. What do you think about AMD losing on calls this week? Yeah, I saw AMD dump yesterday. But you got to understand, like, most of these microchip stocks are up so much that a pullback isn't unreasonable for a lot of these. Like, a pullback isn't crazy unreasonable. I think AMD is up from 90s earlier to start. Like 52 weeks ago, like a year ago, AMD was at 90s. Hit lows of 81s in May of last year. It's currently at almost 200. Nvidia, you know, a year ago was at 2-something. It's now at almost 1,000, you know, so like pullbacks are healthy. They're not going to go straight up. It's not reasonable to expect, you know, things to go straight up. Just like it's not reasonable to expect things to go down. You know, you see me kind of buying the lows here, you know, so we kind of bought the lows down here. How did we know we were going to bounce like this? Because we've dipped so much, like, you know, using extension to predict pullbacks or bounces makes sense, I think. And again, this is what we're kind of doing on this chart here. Like, that's how we were able to get our little gain so far here this morning, is because we're not going to go straight down either. That's very rare, at least. All right, chat. AMC short interest over time. Something's not right according to the AMC traders. At what point do they move on with their life, bro? You know, like at what point do they move on with their life? They're crying about the short interest, then they're not crying about the short interest. Nvidia may drop quite a bit more this week, especially tomorrow. But after that, I think it's gold. And if it dips to 825, yeah, I think it's understandable to pull back a little bit. You know, I think, and if you're bullish on Nvidia long term, that should be an understandable thing. It depends on what you want. If you want short term max value, of course you don't want to pull back. But if you want long term strength, that's something that you kind of need. You kind of need pullbacks like this. It's not unreasonable to expect, you know. And again, we're trading on apex.com. Apex, they give you a demo and they test your skill. If you could pass the test, they fund you. If you can't pass the test, you only lose what you pay for the package. So it's a great challenge product. And I think it makes a lot of sense because most day traders lose. I lost thousands when I first got started. Most day traders are going to lose. And so instead of putting up thousands yourself and risking that, limit your risk. Try a funded account program. This is a $300,000 funded Rhythmic account. And again, there's no PDT in futures. I can day trade short. I've got a 90% split on this $300,000 Rhythmic account. And again, they have accounts from 25K up to 300K. They have static drawdowns. You can use up to 40 micros in the base one and hundreds of micros in the one I'm currently on. And so again, they have 80% off sale right now. Remember, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. This is only the second plug I've done all day. I've been streaming for hours. So second plug I've done all day. I've been streaming for hours. If you want to check them out, great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Use promo code BT, beginner trading, BT. Get the max discount. You're welcome, chat. You're welcome. It could dip to 825. Where do you see Nvidia bouncing? Give me your price level for Nvidia. Where do you see it bouncing? Right now, again, it's currently at about 870. 870 currently. The halving is, I think, 420. I believe is when the halving is. But I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's around 420. But man, the AMC traders are still talking about some crazy parabolic short squeeze that's just inevitably going to happen. It's weird. I can like feel the sinus pressure relieving. I hope it's getting better, man. Oh, man. Are people really telling people to rent an apartment with utilities included, plug in a few of these crypto miners and profit? Like, bro, you're going to get booted out of that apartment so fast, like, it's not even going to matter. You're going to get booted out. As soon as they get that first utility bill, they are out of there, bro. They are saying, all right, let's kick this guy out. This guy's milking off of our energy grid. Let's kick him out. Are people really still doing the NPC TikTok live streaming trend? Like, get out of here, bro. Like, look, society has really gone downhill if this is really what people are doing. Like, this is really like the future. Like the dystopian future predictions being proven correct. If people are sitting out here acting like NPCs on camera, you know. Like, at least this stream provides a service, you know. Like, we give you economic data, market news, and all that good stuff. Like, they don't even do anything. They're not even doing anything. Who pays for these streams, bro? The new generation's attention span has got to be like 5 seconds, you know? And again, I get it. I know. I sound like a boomer. I know. Dr. Pepper reaffirms fiscal year 24 net sales and adjusted EPS guidance. We do have some economic data today. We have what do we have today? I forgot. We got housing starts and building permit data. Not a big release, but we'll cover it. All right, chat. Again, housing starts, building permit data, 8:30. All right, guys. Housing starts, building permit data drops at 8:30. I don't think. All right, well. All right, so again, we got 8:30. We got a couple minutes. We're going to cover this when it drops, but it's really not a big release. Apex, you mean, Jeanette? Are they already out yet? No. Okay, so again, sell-side commentary on Nvidia post-GTC event. All remain very bullish, but no big surprises seems to be the main takeaway, according to Bank of America. Do y'all agree, I guess, is the question. SoundHound is going to be a good... Why is my computer lagging so much here? I gotta exit out of some stuff maybe. Let me see. Exit out of this. Exit out of this. Exit out of that. Exit out of that. Exit out of that. Close our Discord down. It's really my typing, so it might be... get out of that. All right, so we got the Fed watch tool up. We're keeping an eye on that. Big breakdown here. Look at the low of the day crack on the Nasdaq here and Nvidia. So weakness heading into this report. There we go. It should be a little bit better now. All right, so we built up a little bit of profit here. I would normally short into this, and I guess I could start to short with like one contract here. But I'm probably gonna have to add to this if it doesn't work. And I'm not gonna take many, maybe 3 or 4. We've got a cushion, so we'll see if we can maximize it. I don't want to get stuck in chop though, and I do think it's kind of risky for chop. Kind of flat here. All right, there's 4, there's 5. All right, so we got 5 contracts here. We've got a cushion on the day, but kind of giving some of it back right now. Let's see if it breaks down some. I do see the SPY bouncing up a little bit. It's a big rejection. We do have some selling pressure show up. Let's see if this holds. I took half off there just to protect myself, just because I needed to be honest. We only have 3 contracts left. I'll give the rest some more time, see if we can maximize this. Yeah, the new miners look good. Yeah, or not the miners. The new chips look good. The Blackwell chips. Yeah, it's not my internet. It's more so probably it might be my keyboard. Yeah, I think my keyboard might need a new battery. Like this is all fine. Like the timing here is all fine, but I think it's my keyboard. It just might need a new battery. Try to. All right, so we're in 5 contracts now. I might add up to like 10 and take a little risk here. I like this resistance area. Here's 7. We'll get 8. I like even numbers because I can do lots of 4. Alright, we're completely flat here. Locking in some profit. Locking in a little bit more. Locking in a little bit more. Try to let the rest roll here and work. Only 2 contracts left, though. I'm just trying to be patient with it. Patient for me is like 30 seconds, too. Again, we are day trading on Apex funded program. FOMC tomorrow at 2 p.m. I feel a little bit better, but not that much better. All right, so now we're kind of flat here. Watch Nvidia, because this is going to influence us a lot. Alright, we just took half off. I mean, you can download it after Radical, but it's a rhythmic platform. So Quant Tower is rhythmic. So if you want to use Quant Tower, you got to use buy the rhythmic package, one of the rhythmic packages. Oh, now we're pushing up. So we took profit. Now we're kind of flat on the trade. And I don't like that bounce, so we're going to get out. So yeah, we just kind of ended neutral on the trade. Yeah, I'm looking at press releases. I'll find press releases. So SEC charges 2 investment advisors with making false and misleading statements about their use of AI. Oh, I love that you have no music today. Yeah, I mean, listen. Today, what I was just going for is just no music at all. There's definitely not music playing in the background at all, you know. I'm very anti-music in that way. And so, you know, we just try never to listen to music ever here on this live stream. You know, what you hear in the background is not music. It's my heart from the coffee, you know. So, yeah. Yeah, Supermicro Semiconductors down to $900 here. Still breaking down. All right, guys. Hey, in 12 minutes, we have the building permits and housing start data dropping. All right, so we are bouncing up a little bit. What is FOMC? FOMC is tomorrow. So again, the Fed meeting's tomorrow. Supermicro Semiconductors filed a registration statement Tuesday for the sale of 2 million. Yeah, they did an offering. They sold shares. They diluted. Which honestly, I think they kind of need. You know, like Supermicro kind of needs to do an offering. They have so little shares. They're so highly volatile that like dilution might actually, for once, be a good thing for Supermicro Semiconductors. People are looking at it like it's some terrible sign, of course, which generally happens with, you know, anytime you dilute the company shares, people get upset. Yeah, look at my keyboard today. I'm going to have to switch something out. But again, Supermicro is a very low float stock. It's only got like 50 million in the float. And so I don't think it's a terrible thing to sell shares, lock in profit at these crazy high prices for this company. If you want the company to succeed long term, I don't think that's a bad sign. Like, you have to understand, a lot of these companies only really make money from their higher share price when they sell shares and they do offerings. And so taking a little bit of profit here as a company in Supermicro and selling shares at these really high premium prices that they're at now, I don't think it's a terrible sign. Now, the question is, does this signal a negative outlook internally for Supermicro? Like, basically, does Supermicro Semiconductors question whether they're going to be at high prices into the future? And is that the justification for them selling shares here and doing their offering? I'm not sure. It's only a 2 million it's only a 2 million share offering, so it's not like relative to their current, like, what, 40, 50 million float. Adding 2 million shares to the float's not the worst thing ever. Like, it's not the biggest, you know, it's not the biggest offering ever. It's not like AMC over here, you know, diluting 100% of their float. But, you know, it's not, I would say it's not great short term, but long term, I don't think it's like a horrible thing. Yeah, they need capital, 100%. I don't think it's a bad thing. I've owned and followed since September. It's all good here. Why not do it here? Yeah, I mean, again, they're at these apex prices. Like, I'm for it, you know. Again, I don't think it's a terrible thing. Again, offering is generally always seen as bad, but I think, like, the company's so high up, locking in some profit here and using that to expand is not horrible. You know what I mean? It's not a horrible thing. But again, I know a lot of people are going to disagree, but, you know, it's all good. I can hear my sinuses getting better, dude. Ugh, it just took so long, man. When you buy in Snapchat, I'm still in Snapchat. Average price in Snapchat is 1080s, so we're in it still. We took most of the profit off of it, I think, but we're still in it, you know. Yeah, so again, we're testing lows on the NASDAQ here. Yeah, it's been a good little week. I wish toss. Huh. Yeah, I wish Thinkorswim allowed me to see. Like, does TOS let you see a profit calendar? I wish they did. Let me see. All right, that's today. Let me see if it'll let me look at other stuff. All right, chat. Hey, we got 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left until housing starts building permit data drops. None of these are going to be big, so I wouldn't worry about any of these reports really majorly influencing things, but there might be some, small influences. There might be some small influence over these. I wish it gave me a longer term view. I don't want to see just today. Yeah, on TD Ameritrade. But again, they show you just your account balance over time. I mean, they show you your profit and loss. But, hey, love you. Yeah. I love you. Have a good day, sweetie. All right, guys. Super micro tanking, though. Yeah, I mean, they announced an offering. So. All right, chat. Hey, we have 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left before import-export prices. Again, Nvidia, or not import-exports, housing starts and building permits. Nvidia has been dipping down. It's at 862s. Right now, 862s. We'll see if it holds and continues dropping. Tesla pulling back a little bit today. I guess I'm earning a little bit from dividends here, too. I didn't realize. I forgot it was divvy. Some of these pay divvies. I don't want for today to be one of those days where the market got nothing and you were just watching. What's the day before the Fed meeting? So I might try to play some more rangy. Strategies today. 2 minutes here, chat. 2 minutes. I haven't switched to Swab yet, but it's coming pretty soon. They told me when I would have to switch. I have to switch by. I gotta switch pretty soon. All right, guys, we got 1 minute here, chat. 1 minute before the economic data drops. 1 minute. All right, I love you. Huh? Okay. Okay. Love you. All right, chat. Again, we got 1 minute left. I didn't really get a diagnosis. I'm finally starting to feel better. I don't know what it was. I took a flu test negative, C-word test negative, strep test negative, so probably just a virus. All right, guys, 45 seconds, 45 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. We also have Canadian CPI dropping as well here, team. So we do have Canadian CPI dropping also, so this will be a major report. Strep test, like strep throat. Anyways, 20 seconds, Chad, 20 seconds. Let's see what we get. Again, this is pretty much a nothing report, just to give you a heads up, but we'll cover it nonetheless like we always do. Again, building permits expected at 1.5 million for February. Housing starts expected at 1.43 million. Again, none of these are big reports that are move markets, but we'll watch them nonetheless. All right, here we go. There's 8:30, and housing starts came in at 10.7%, 10.7%. Building permits came in over expected at 1.518 million. Housing starts came in at 1.521 million. Both of them came in over expected. Canadian CPI, both all universally came in lower than expected. So Canadian CPI all universally came in lower than expected. Housing starts and building permits, all housing showing higher housing numbers. Housing starts showed up at 1.521 versus 1.43 million expected. Building permits showed up building permits came in at 1.518 million versus 1.5 million expected. So here's the report. Market's slowly reacting positively to this. Again, not a surprise. Canadian CPI universally was lower than expected. Month over month came in at 0.3 versus 0.6. Year over year came in at 2.8 versus 3.1. Median CPI came in at 3.1 versus 3.3. So Canadian CPI universally came in lower than expected. Housing data all came in higher than expected. Market's bouncing up a little bit on this report, although Nvidia is kind of stagnant. We could look at like Apple maybe, or like something real estate related like Zillow. Apple. Here's the Q. Here's the SPY on the bottom chart. Bouncing a little bit with us. And again, if you haven't already, guys, check out one of my sponsors, Apex. Right now, Apex is offering 80% off their sales, 80% off Apex accounts. And this is really useful because if you want to learn to day trade, it's a lot cheaper to do this than putting up thousands yourself. Most day traders lose. It doesn't matter whether you learn through this or you learn on stocks. Most day traders lose, but it's a lot cheaper to lose here. They offer 80% off. Again, their base one's $25K, so you can get it for $30 right now if you use my link, $30, and you use my promo code BT, beginner trading. $30. You can use up to 40 micros. You only got to make $1,500 in profit on a demo account. And if you pass that test and follow their rules, they fund you $25K with a 90% split. You get to keep your first $25,000 in profit. And if you lose, you're only out $30. It's the best of both worlds. You can get accounts up to $300,000, static accounts with no trailing drawdown, all that good stuff. And again, the patterns on this are very similar to blue chips. If you look at the SPY and you look at the NASDAQ 100 futures that I can trade on the left side here on Apex, no PDT rule, it's very similar price action. I can also basically trade the SPY price action, what's called the E-mini. You know, if I put that up, it looks exactly the same as the SPY because it's the same price action. There's just no PDT rule on the left side. Great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. And again, they are a sponsor, so I'm biased. But if you want to check them out, you know, great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Check out the link here. Just remember, to get the max discount, use promo code BT. And again, always remember, I am terrible at this stuff and have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything. It seems this data has affected markets some. We are bouncing up a little bit on optimistic inflation data for Canada and on good housing numbers here. So again, we'll see what happens. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back in less than 3 minutes. While I'm gone, let me know. Do interest rates start to drop this year? A better one. Do mortgage rates start dropping this year? If so, where do they end? Where are mortgage rates in December this year? Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in a minute or two. All right, I'm back. So what did y'all guys say? So we did have an E-mini bounce. Sorry, guys. I'm not really feeling that great. Not really stomach-wise, but, man. My throat. I had to go spit up some gunk. Ugh. Once before elections, 9. Nah, we're not going to end at 9%. Every time, 100% of the time works every time. Yeah. Again, let me know what you guys think. Do mortgage rates start to drop? I guess is the real question. And I don't know. We're gonna hopefully get some action to trade here. We are bouncing up a little bit. I'm gonna start shorting. I think this is a lot of the time where like fake outs on the downside happen, and look at that. Oh, this is the regular E-mini. I just realized that, chat. Dang, dude. All right. Somehow we made money. This is the regular E-mini. I was trying to trade micros. But I kind of missed the move now. Again, these are a lot of the time where fake outs happen. And there's the fake out to the downside. I just completely missed because I traded the wrong thing. I guess I could have held, but look at this drop. We were right about what happened, but just a little late. Google bouncing back up, almost green on the day. Trying to fight its way back. Where's gold at? I mean, gold's up to 2160. Apple's moving up too, so Apple's almost green on the day. Nvidia though is testing lows of the day here though, so look at Nvidia. It's right at this low level. Look at that. So they have AI taking job interviews now. All right, between 2 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. yesterday, traders appeared to have bought more than 24,000 Nvidia call contracts that expire Friday with a strike price of $19.40. They bought it in small lots of about 900 contracts, which could be indicative of retail traders, and paid $24,000 paid $24,000 in total. Weird. All right, so we're starting to be rangy again. I think, today's the day before the Fed meeting, so I think we could have an argument for a sideways choppy day leading up to it, especially tomorrow prior to the Fed meeting. I think we might have flat choppiness. So Sam Altman spoke about the future of AI and GPT-5. MicroStrategy, as of 25 minutes ago, buys another 9,245 Bitcoin worth about $623 million. Did Bitcoin move from this at all? Gold's up. Bitcoin's up a little bit too. Honestly, though, dude, check out this code I wrote for Toss. Hold on, let me pull it up. Check out how accurate it is on Bitcoin. Like, I built this algorithm a couple days ago, partially using AI, but I'm the one that specified the conditions that I wanted. I'm not going to tell you guys what the conditions are, but here's Bitcoin. Check it out. So I built this. I'm actually kind of proud of it. Like, look. Yeah. I call it, it's a bullish indicator. I call it strict reversal. Look at it. And now this is with Bitcoin. Look at it. So it called it here. Nice little follow through bounce there. But the crazy part is that if you keep checking it, like, look at this. So this is on Bitcoin. I might have to, it was wrong here, of course, so it's wrong there. But look at this. Reversals are right here, called these bounces. Almost at the lows, too. Like, look, low, low. Beautiful bounces there. Let's keep going. Look, another low. It's literally calling the lows on Bitcoin. Look at this. Beautiful bounce. All right, that's only one that didn't work so far. Like, look, another one here. Let me. Look at that. Right at the lows. Beautiful bounce. Let's keep going. This is the second one that didn't work out of like what? Like 10 so far? Look at that one. Beautiful bounce here. Nice little follow through there too. They don't happen a lot. Like, the indicator doesn't show up a lot, but that might be a good thing in a lot of ways, right? Yeah, caught the lows. We got a nice little follow through bounce there too. I mean, look. Reversal indicator, boom, bounce. I haven't really checked it on longer term time frames, but that's only 2 out of a bunch that didn't work so far. I have to keep going and check it. I wonder about a 5-minute chart. What that'll look like. I mean, a 5-minute chart doesn't look bad either. Hold on, let me check this. I mean, wow. None were wrong on a 5-minute chart. Look at this. So here's a 5-minute chart on Bitcoin. All right, remember I built this code a couple days ago. Like, look at this low. Look at the bottom predictor. Like, look at that strict reversal. It literally called the bottom candle here. Again, I'm not going to tell you the conditions. Don't ask me. Look at that. Literally called the low right there. Let's see if we can keep going here. Look at it. It did it again. It literally called the low candle. Look at this. On a 5-minute chart. I have to keep going back and check the time. There's not one wrong on a 5-minute chart though. Like, look. Strict reversal right before. It literally called the bottom again. And yeah, this one didn't show up that much, but that's all right. But everyone was right. And so strictness isn't necessarily a bad thing there too. I'll have to keep playing with that one. But I think there looks to be some potential for that one. There's Nvidia, here's Apple. What about Tesla here? Where's Tesla? I know Tesla dipped a lot earlier. Yeah, it's not repainting. I labeled it strict reversal. Because when I was having AI populate it, when I first, I specified the conditions. When I first specified the conditions, it showed up way too much. And so I said, AI, this indicator is too sensitive. Make it more strict. And then AI made it more strict, and that's what it gave me with these alerts. That's why I call it strict reversal. That's why it's called strict reversal. It's because that's what AI, or that's because that's the input I gave AI to fix, make it more strict. Google bounced it up. It's at 149s almost, 149s. Yeah, I'm not telling you the internals. Thank you for Super Micro News. Yeah. That's cool. You know, I've got this indicator plugged into a lot because I've kind of been back testing it over the last few days. It's not perfect for sure. Crypto is where it's the most effective. Like individual stocks, it's less effective for sure. But it's not bad on other stocks too. But it's definitely less effective on stocks. So I'm just bragging about an indicator that I built myself with AI, but y'all don't need to know the code, you know. Y'all don't need to know the internals. That's for me, you know. I haven't had a sip of coffee in like 30 minutes. This is the time for me to sip coffee. I'm sad about Bruce Willis, man. All right, so we are getting a bounce back up. Ugh. I had a dream last night that I was guided to buy Solana. Might just do it. Hey, I'm not telling you to do it. Yeah, I'm still in AMC. What happened to Bruce Willis? He has dementia, so he can't even speak anymore. You know, like he's kind of slowly losing his cognitive abilities. Unfortunately, man, I feel bad for him. You know. All right, so let's see. Let's have AI do some stuff here. Look back at all normal corrections of bull markets and give me a graph of percentages. Let's see if it. All right, so I have AI generated a mock-up with assumed data points representing different bull markets and their subsequent corrections. All right, so GPT-4 is analyzing. Let's see if he does. Error analyzing. Technical difficulties. Give me the average percentage corrections of bull markets over the past, what, 100 years? In stocks. We'll keep it specifically to stocks. And see what AI says. The Nasdaq's still bouncing up pretty sturdy here. Hello? Hello? Hey. It's not the pretzel guy, chat. It's not the pretzel guy. All right, chat. It's the pretzel guy. Oh, hey, what's up, bro? I don't know if we closed green today. You can see the Nvidia chart bouncing up a little bit. It's bouncing right at that 860 level. Tesla's bouncing up a little bit as well, but the NASDAQ is moving up some also. Google is all the way back up to almost 150s. Supermicro joined the S&P and it's fallen off a cliff. Yeah, it also did the offering today, which probably has a lot to do with this. That was me on Doge, except now it's still be down. I wonder how many companies diluted after being diluted to the S&P. Yeah, I mean, they only diluted 2 million shares, though. It's really not a high amount of shares. Like, it's a relatively small amount. So the dilution's not the end of the world. They're probably just trying to make something from the crazy high prices they've been at, you know, is probably what this is. But I don't know. We'll see. We got 25 minutes until the market opens. I doubt the run for Supermicro is over. It will continue maybe next week. Yeah, we cover all the major market news. CPI, yeah, CPI is not going to be for another like 3 weeks though. But yeah, we'll cover that when it goes live as well. All right, we're going to get ready to day trade at the opening bell. All right, Google broke over the previous closing price, now technically green, and it's at 149s right now, 149s. Man, AI deepfakes are getting really, really bad. Or really, really good, I should say. Litter cam is a new technology being used in England to detect when litter has been thrown out of cars. AI is getting there too. You're not going to be able to litter anymore. Sand roasting is like a cooking technology where they use sand heated at high temperatures to cook foods. Anyways, we got a dip here. I'm wondering if this is the current trend. So I'm looking at this. I think this has to be the trend. We'll try to trade this at the opening bell in about 20 minutes. Not really any big earnings today. I think we have MU maybe tomorrow, but that's about it. I think we had Nike sometime this week as well, but nothing really major in all honesty. Everything's pretty boring this week, earnings-wise. We got MU and Chewy tomorrow evening. Those are the biggest ones, and they're not really that big. Nike is Thursday, so we do have Nike Thursday evening, Lululemon, FedEx. But again, they're not really big enough to make any, like, I'm not going to cover them. They're just not big enough. Nvidia is about to hit the volume weighted average price, the 860 level. All right, so we are bouncing up a little bit. Yeah, we do have the Fed decision tomorrow. That'll be fun. It's probably from the Nvidia conference. Nvidia is still bouncing up a little bit too. It's over the 200 EMA. I might buy this here and see if we can keep going. Look, Nvidia's starting to run back up. Nvidia basically hitting the 200 EMA. Again, we are trading on Apex funded account program, so we're going to take half off there, lock that in. See if Nvidia can keep rising, but got a nice little cushion on the day so far. Pretty good win-loss ratio as well. And again, if you want to trade with me on Apex, they are a sponsor. I'm biased, of course. I'm terrible at this, remember. But again, it's a great way to learn day trading with limited risk. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. Do not risk thousands of dollars trying to day trade yourself. Instead, try a funded account program. If you lose, it's not the end of the world. But if you're good enough to pass it, they'll fund you with 90% split. You get to keep your first 25K in profit. Tons of great resources. They paid out over 100 million in actual payouts. And so again, if you want to check them out, use promo code BT, beginner trading, BT, get the max discount. There's the link. But we did call this, and again, the reason we thought the NASDAQ was going to rise here was because of Nvidia moving up. Nvidia almost up to 870s. So, we're rising. So, Sora. Man, I'm wondering when Sora is going to come out. Do y'all know when Sora is going to drop? Likely to be sometime in 2024. I'm excited. Celsius and Elf. Yeah, I know Elf had a crazy run. It's kind of finally starting to dip now, though. But crazy run. Kind of see a flag pattern on Elf, though. Celsius, CELH symbol. Pretty big run on this one this year, too. Gone from 27 to 100, basically. All right, we're still running up a little bit. Let's see if Nvidia can get over that 200 EMA price level. I told you perma bulls get wrecked today. Nvidia event was dubbed Woodstock of AI. They didn't say it would be nice. Yeah, I've seen the documentary about the 1999 Woodstock. It's a fun documentary to watch. But again, like I think people are too polarized. And I think day traders are programmed to be this way, where they think everything's going to be some crazy big reaction. And that's just not always the case. I think the market is sensationalized a lot of the time. And so I think bears especially want to see the world burn. You know, people that predicted the market was going to crash a year ago and missed out on all the big gains the market's done are usually the biggest, the loudest voices there. But in the end, I think the real answer is somewhere in the middle. I didn't think the Nvidia conference was that bad, and Nvidia pulling back this much is basically flat overnight. You know what I mean? So like people acting like this is some great bear reaction, they're not really paying attention. Just like this is not some big bull reaction. I think like people, you'll have to understand it really tunes a lot of it out when you put a weekly chart up. People are talking about this being some monstrous crash / correction, you know? And again, we're just not there yet. I think pullbacks are healthy. I think we need to pull back. I think we need to pull back some. I don't think it's healthy to continue to go straight up. But I also don't think we're in some parabolic crash state. I think the true answer is, again, somewhere in the middle. No, I've never really heard of it. I don't think they're publicly traded, Curtis. They might be, I don't know, but I don't think they are. If they are, it's probably like pink sheets. All right, guys, we got about 9 minutes until the market opens. About 9 minutes. The problem with Twitter is that you look at one post and then there's like a bunch of completely insignificant comments on each of those videos. All right, Nvidia tried to get over 200 EMA. We'll see if it holds. Gotta wait for the opening bell in 6 minutes. All right, so Nike is going to shut down the artifact this year following a $1 billion acquisition in 2021. Good or bad move on Nike's part? All right, so again, watch Nvidia right at the 200 EMA. Google right at the previous closing price, so pretty flat, leading into the opening bell in about 5 minutes. All right, so again, Nvidia has now broken the 200 EMA. Looks to maybe continue climbing. We'll see if it does. You can see Nvidia up here at 870s. Fed meeting is tomorrow. Yeah, look at the trend hold. So again, we drew this trend. It's been in that trend ever since, really. All right, 3 minutes. All right, so look at Nvidia dip all the way back down under the 200 EMA. It's now at the volume weighted average price. We got 3 minutes, chat. All right, so again, sideways action. Look at Tesla bounce, though. Tesla back up to almost 173s. Fed meeting is in, what, about 30 hours or so? About 30 hours. All right, chat. A minute and a half. We're gonna start to day trade a little bit. Hopefully we get some good stuff. Tesla at 172.30s. I don't know. They both weren't bad. They both worked. Rich. I would say they're pretty even. All right, chat. We're in this trend. Let's see if it holds. Nearly 60% of students with marketing degrees are working high school level jobs 5 years after graduation, according to Bloomberg. Again, I mean, not a shock. A marketing degree is a marketing degree. It's kind of like a journalism, a communications degree. Ouch, man, that's loud. But there's the opening bell. Let's see what happens. All right, chat. So far, Nvidia is mostly flat. Let's see if we do anything since the open. Google pushing up some. Looks strong. Again, Nvidia at 865 still. We're breaking under this trend line here. I'm going to let things play out first before I attack any direction. Bearish action coming. Alright, got a little flush from Tesla. Nvidia's starting to rebound back up. Look at that. Nvidia up to 870s. Alright, so we're getting some green action here. Really risky trade here that we're taking, but it's alright. We'll play with it. Alright, took half off. Took the other half. Locked it in. Shorting into this trend line that we had here. Let's see what happens. Up about 100 on the day or so. I don't understand this world. Company shows off new product and people sell stock. WTF? Yeah, but I mean, listen, if it was that easy, we'd all be rich, bro. Like, if all we had to do was sit around and wait for a new product launch or a new conference to start, everybody would just buy it up pre-conference and get rich. Like, they would just sit around waiting for conferences and buy up stuff. It's just not that easy, unfortunately. That's a really one-dimensional look at markets. Most of the buying for this happened a month ago, not yesterday, you know. You have to, things are baked into the market. They don't just, randomly happen like that. It's just, I wish it was that easy, but it's not, unfortunately, and if you think it is, you have a big misunderstanding about markets. Super micro bouncing back. FOMC is tomorrow. All right, Nvidia's starting to rise. Nvidia back up to 875, 876s. We are seeing some strength here. Let's see if we get more strength. I'm gonna buy up Nvidia right here, or not Nvidia, the Nasdaq here. And just get absolutely punished, I guess. I'm looking for Nvidia to bounce is what I'm doing, but kind of a risky thing here, I guess. I want to see Nvidia bounce at this 200 EMA VWAP level. That's what I'm trying to wait for, but I'm just kind of giving it back, I guess, waiting for it. Let's see if Nvidia bounces here. I gotta limit my risk. This is too much, unfortunately. I might get completely faked out, but that's all right. Nvidia's taking too long, so we're down on the day now. Not that much. I mean, it's pretty much a flat day. But yeah, we wanted to wait, but it's all right. Yeah, so market's starting to bounce back up a little bit here. We'll see if it holds. We did crack lows. We got some opening weakness now. All right, so we did make our money back here trading the regular E-mini. You can see we're up about 120 on the day so far. Slowly grinding this up. Not too shabby, I'll take it. But I'm seeing some weakness here for sure. We also might trade in the background on like Trade Evade. So we got this. I see a bounce in Tesla and some other stuff too, so we're gonna see if we get a better move, but are breaking down some here. Yeah, I mean, guys, like Nvidia is pretty much flat for the last couple weeks. I mean, I'm not saying it's a green day today, But like, Nvidia hasn't really moved that much all week. Like, okay, let me put a 10-day chart up. Here's a 10-day chart for Nvidia, right? So for people acting like Nvidia is super weak, I think it's confirmation bias. That's Nvidia's chart this week. You know, really, we're green over the last 10 days. We're at 830s 10 days ago. So I mean, not going straight up doesn't mean weakness. You know what I mean? I think, and again, I'm not saying it's gonna go straight up. I really don't know. What I'm saying is, like, right now we're not really that. I mean, we have a red open for sure, but it's kind of a choppy. We're testing the bottom of a range now, but it's not like a crazy downward pressure. You know what I mean? Nasdaq's actually looking a little bit more weak than Nvidia is. And again, you can see that trend broke. Yeah, the conflict overseas making oil do well. I'm in oil. I'm green in it. Yeah, I'm green on the day too so far, but now we're starting to see a little bit more of a breakdown here, where we're getting some pressure, I would say, show up. Trade Evade's giving me really bad feels. So I like rhythmic, but not good feels here. We called the bounce perfectly on Trade Evade, but man, bad feels on Trade Evade. I don't know what's going on here. Gotta use limit orders, I guess. I'm gonna start to short into this with small size. We'll get up to like 5 or 6 contracts here since we're past the opening bell and we let that first 10 minutes play out. All right, took a little bit off here. We'll maybe add back if we get a bounce back too, just because we got such a quick turnaround. I don't mind playing with this a little bit more and trying to maximize profit from it, but there we go. All right. Well, pretty good day. I mean, we're up about 140 so far on our funded Apex account. Anybody having really bad fills on Trade Evade? All right, so starting to break down a little bit. This is where weakness is starting to show. Look at Tesla cracking lows at 170s. Nvidia, let's watch it. 850 is a big psychological level for it. Let's see if that holds. I've taken a little bit of this. You know, we're up about 140. Don't worry about that little guy here. You know, don't worry about that little guy. My drawdown's still only $100, so we made more than our drawdown, so that's good. All right, so look at that 850 bounce level. We called it. I'm asking AI to write me a really complex code. Ooh, man, and it's writing it for me. All right, let's try it. All right, so we had it write a code. Let's see if the code works. I'll tell you guys I'll show you guys the code if it works. It's a big code too. ChatGPT-4 is pretty powerful in this way. All right, so again, that 850 level we're bouncing here. All right, let's see if it works. All right, we did a think script code this time. Okay, code worked. Well. No, too strict. All right, 2 year. Choppy sideways, up and down action. Yeah, I mean, you got to remember the FOMC meeting's tomorrow, so a lot of the time we get chopped like this ahead of the FOMC. So a lot of the time we get chopped like this ahead of the FOMC. Somehow we're green today. Again, we're still over here building up codes in the background. Forgive me. Get rid of this code. Create a new one. See if anything shows up. Look at the SPY chart instead. Yeah, still not. All right, so again, we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce here. I'm going to start to short a little bit here. It could be a choppy day. Boom, caught a breakdown. We'll go ahead and get out there. All right, we're currently up about 160 on the day. Still working on building this code. And then once I build it, I'm going to transfer it over to all right, so let's look at the queue. All right, let's try to take this out. All right, so we did get a nice bounce. NASDAQ is not playing today. Yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. I mean, again, we're trying to attack. I'm going to start shorting this now, too. All right, so yeah. Slowly grinding it up. I mean, we made a couple $100 since the opening bell. I'll take it. Not bad for 25 minutes of work. We got pretty good accuracy today, too. I mean, here's the profit graph. 2.88 to 1 win-loss isn't bad. And again, we're on Apex funded account program. So again, they're giving me a demo. They're testing my skill. And we're trying to, or we've already passed the test. So we got 300,000 in funding on Apex with a 90% split is what we're doing here. And so not doing too bad. We're slowly building up profit in both of these accounts. All right, so we're building. Yeah, so again, market's bouncing back up a little bit. We had some red opening. We're kind of sitting tight now. Again, if you do want to use Apex, which is the funded account program I'm using, you can use my promo code BT, beginner trading, BT, all one word, beginner trading. Hopefully you guys are making some money today. It's a kind of flat day. Again, I thought we might be choppy and sideways because today is the day before the Fed meeting, right? So it's the day before the FOMC. We might get choppy action. I'm trying to see if we will or not. I don't know. But it looks like we kind of are. Right, so we still bounce it up. Part of me wants to short because Nvidia is running into the volume weighted average price area. Yeah, we made money shorting. Yeah, so again, we're kind of choppy. We did rejected the VWAP there, which is what we kind of thought we might do for Nvidia. Might be a blue day cash in hand. Yeah, I'm looking here. We're hanging out. We're seeing if we get some good stuff. Yeah, I'm playing with these studies here. All right, now we're chopping sideways. It's 10 a.m., guys. I don't think we had any economic reports at 10. Let me be sure. Yesterday, 10 o'clock. Yeah, nothing at 10 o'clock today. Pretty boring. So yeah, guys, I'm going to probably go ahead and close it down. Before I do, check out Chart Prime. It's a trading view service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. I always try to backtest this once. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, because they pay me money. But look at these strong signals. Look at the sell signal, strong buy signal, sell signal, buy signal. This one was probably wrong. Look at this buy signal worked. This one worked as well. This one got a nice little bounce. Look at this sell signal work. Buy signal called the bottom. So far, that one worked as well. So again, genuinely impressive if you look at it. Let's put up a 1-minute chart to see what a 1-minute chart is. You can also use longer term time frames if you want as well. Like I could put up an hourly chart, and we'll try that soon to see if that works also. Let's let it load here. Got to reset the market oracle. And again, remember, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, like I always say, because they pay me money. You know, I'm always honest and transparent about that. But again, look at the 1-minute chart too. The 1-minute chart's pretty impressive as well. Look at the strong signal and bounce. This is like a scalping one too. Strong bounce, strong bounce. If you use this on a scalping perspective, look at the strong signal literally called the top in that one as well. Again, you can get it for 40% off. There's tons of other stuff. Back testers, oscillators, a bunch of cool stuff. Check it out. You can also use it on Apex and funded account programs to try to pass it. Right now, Apex has got an 80% off sale. 80% off sale going on right now where you get 80% off, and it's a 1-day pass. And so if you pass it today, you get funded. A great way to help support the channel as well. Check out the link in the description. If you do use Apex, use promo code BT Beginner Trading. You can check out the link in the description. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go rest for a little bit longer today, guys. So y'all be safe. Market's kind of flat, choppy, and boring right now. So we'll see what the market brings us tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.